Hello, YouTube. It's your boy, The Crow Show here. I just wanted to talk today about something that I think we can all agree on when it's okay to disconnect when you're playing Dead by Daylight. This has been a hot topic lately. It affects content creators, it affects people who don't even create content, and it's been a sore point in the community for probably since the beginning of this game. Now, there are disconnect penalties, but that doesn't stop people from disconnecting while they're playing Dead by Daylight. Now, I want you to, at the start of this video, think about the last time you disconnected. Why did you do it? Was it because you got caught first? Were you playing killer and the survivors were just outplaying you and just things weren't going your way? Did you face a killer you don't enjoy playing against? Maybe you have an accessibility issue and you play against a killer who maybe makes you physically ill, like the clown. Myself personally, Dredge is a killer I don't disconnect against, but his sound and sight mechanics run a bit of a number on me because my sight and hearing just aren't what they used to be. And that's okay, I'll stick it out, I'll probably die, but I'll do my best. But this, Oz put out a short little video on Twitter today, just kind of talking a little bit about his adventure trying to capture footage. I can totally see his frustration. I'll just run the clip for you right now.
And especially during nightfall where you're even faster. Is that alright, Mikela? Are you okay? You just give up. Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me? What's up with people, man? What's up with people? I've played, what, 4 games? I haven't had a single normal game today. Giving up, DCing, dying super early, okay, that happens, and giving up again. Oh my god, this is absolutely terrible. And this is with like quadruple, quintuple BP as well. Literally, you could not be more motivated right now to finish a match, and people do not care.
So there you have it. Otz was trying to capture footage off stream, and I can see why he's frustrated. I totally get it. I've been there too. I've tried multiple times to record videos, and just due to factors outside of my control, I can't get the footage I want because there are people just refusing to play the game. And that can be frustrating. And Scott actually talked about that a little bit in his video, and he offered a little bit more nuanced idea on why people disconnect, and this one kind of hit close to home to me because, like, well, I'll just play it for you and we'll elaborate right after this.
I have always thought disconnects are not as big of a deal as people claim it to be. Now, trust me, it's very annoying when you're in a position to win a match as Survivor and your teammate just DCs because they went down one time. Because if somebody does not want to play a game, they're not going to play the game. Whether they AFK or they just kill themselves on hook or they suicide, like, whatever. If someone does not want to play a game, they're not going to play a game. It's dumb a lot of the time. A lot of the time, there's not a good reason for it. Someone just gets hit by a Wraith and they just DC at the start of the match. Yeah, that shit's stupid. And sometimes there's a lot of really good reason for it. Someone's slugging you out for 3 minutes and this is stupid. I'm just going to leave. So there are definitely times that are justified to disconnect, and then there are times that are not justified to disconnect. The problem is there's no consensus on what those are. People just take the extremes. I think if you DC once, you're basically Hitler. And, you know, if you never DC, you're just taking the game too seriously and things like that. So there are definite extremes of both sides that make disconnecting seem more obnoxious than it actually is. But
So I tend to agree with what Scott says. There are many reasons why people disconnect, and, you know, most of the time it's very silly. You know, you get hit once by Wraith or once by Wesker and you disconnect. Like, you're kind of screwing over your teammates. And in the next mid-chapter update with the Nicolas Cage chapter, there will be disconnect bots that will take over for the people who do disconnect while playing Survivor. And let's face it, those bots will probably be better than a majority of the players they're replacing. I've actually heard people through social media and on streams talking about how those bots are actually pretty good against like ranged killers, and they do a pretty good job of running killers. So you might actually get better teammates. But, you know, I think Scott had a very good measured take, and full disclosure, I did cut it down just a little bit. It was about a 2.5 minute thing he had there, but I didn't want to just take 2.5 minutes and play it uncut. Just kind of grabbed all the key notes of what Scott said, and yeah, I like what Scott had to say. There's another up and coming content creator who posted a meme clip. It was kind of fun. I thought it was funny. I don't know about you. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, but I'm just going to play the clip for you. You let me know what you think. Are you also getting tired of playing against Wesker nonstop while playing Dead by Daylight? Well, I discovered an easy workaround for this. Just don't bother. So that content creator, his name is The Crow Show. That's me. I posted that clip because I thought it was kind of funny. I had played against Wesker 4 times in a row. When that happened, I was just fed up. And I know that 90% of the community say, oh my God, Wesker's so fun. I love Wesker. And yes, he is a well-designed killer and he does have counterplay. I just wasn't in the mood. And I thought it was okay to take my one disconnect of the day. And truth be told, I maybe disconnect maybe twice a week, if that. And the other times I tend to disconnect are for some of the reasons that Scott says. You know, people are just, they're slugging and just leaving you on the ground. Slugging for the 4K. Stuff like that, like really annoying things that just kind of hold you hostage in the game, and it's just not fun. I'd rather just take my 1 minute penalty and go spend blood points. But when I posted that little silly meme clip on Twitter, it kind of went sort of viral. And when I say viral, it's just Dead by Daylight viral. And I have 2 homies I can thank for that. The first one being Hens. Hens said, if you would have insta-DC'd on Terror Radius, I would have kind of respected it, but you only DC'd after you got outplayed, which I personally find really lame. Now, I don't have any issues with what Hens says. I, you know, more or less, I do agree with him. It is pretty lame just to disconnect because I got outplayed. I can see where he's coming from. But the issue with that, which really sucks, is Hens is very deeply rooted in the competitive Dead by Daylight scene. Hens actually makes like videos where he comments and talks about competitive Dead by Daylight and analyzes matches and stuff. And here I am, just some normie who has never played competitive Dead by Daylight, never will, and probably won't even play in a tournament for fun because that's just not my thing. I just like to solo queue and put out content and meme and joke around and goof around and have a good time. Hens wasn't the only competitive Dead by Daylight player who chimed in. Nightlight, who is a player for DVD Eternal, lots of tourney wins, is actually really good from what I understand at games like Valorant and Apex Legends, which is really cool. Good for you, you're a good gamer, you're better than me at all video games. So he said if a guy DC'd on me after getting back shown this hard, I'd legit piss myself. I still don't really understand what that means, because I don't play comp. Again, I never will. But after Hens and Nightlight commented on this meme clip, when they brought their competitive Dead by Daylight energy to this silly little clip, it brought out a lot of trolls. A lot of people threw hatred my way. I was called many names. I was insulted over and over and over again. And after, you know, waking up to kind of a shitstorm, I just muted the tweet and I just don't see the tweets anymore. So it was an interesting couple of hours going through those messages. And now people are seeking out my other tweets and sending me nasty messages, and all because I disconnected versus a Wesker once. Is that really worth your time to go out of your way to try to make personal insults? Now, I'm not saying Hens or the other competitive dude made personal insults, but their tweets, whether they like it or not, did bring that energy to my Twitter. And it's really unfortunate. I don't think it was Hens' intention. You know, I would never hold Hens responsible for that. But the other comp bro, he was kind of weird about things, bringing that comp energy to this silly meme clip. And the sad thing about this whole thing is I got in a lot more trouble from the community for disconnecting versus a Wesker than a Caucasian cis hetero male who protected an abuser. That guy got off scot-free, you know, still supported, didn't really take much hatred other than people who just wanted to hold him accountable. But me, being a bisexual Dead by Daylight content creator who is native Canadian, you know, dark skinned, also older than most people in the community, I'm held to a different standard, and I received far more hatred for disconnecting versus a Wesker as opposed to somebody who's protecting an abuser. There's something kind of weird about that. But that's, we can have that conversation at another time. Here are some interesting stats on the tweet. So you can see there, got 254,000 views total. The video itself got 67,000 views. And I don't think it's going to stop there. It was an interesting weekend, but you know what? It won't be the last time I post a clip like that. It won't be the last time I meme and joke around and have a silly time. If you like my content, be sure to stick around, hit the like and subscribe button. If you don't have to engage with me. Don't feed my algorithm. That's all I really wanted to say about it. If you have reasons why you like to disconnect, please let me know in the comments. And I think there are many, many valid reasons. And at the end of the day, my opinion, Scott's opinion, Odds' opinion, our opinions don't really matter when it comes to the day-to-day person who plays maybe a few hours a week. We're all going to have our reasons. We will never know the reason every single time. And for that, I'm just going to go next. I suggest you do the same. So until next time, talk to you later.